Hi there, my name is Christopher Harrison, and this is going to be Querying SQL Server 2012. As a 10-second background on myself, I've been doing SQL Server since 2001, .NET development since about the same time, and SharePoint for a good handful of years now. What I want to do in this lesson is talk a little bit about the intended audience for this course, and also talk a bit about how to best use this course to get the most out of it. So the first big question to ask is, well, who are you? Who is the intended audience for this, and who can pick up the most from this course? Well, the first group of people that are going to be able to pick up quite a bit are going to be report writers. Now, under that huge umbrella of report writers, I'm including people who might be creating reports inside of reporting services, or for Crystal reports, or maybe using Performance Point with SharePoint, or maybe just simply creating charts inside of Excel, and they need to pull their information from a database. Now, I would mention that the vast majority of what we're going to talk about would actually work with almost any database. It doesn't necessarily have to be SQL Server. So even if you're going to be pulling information from, say, MySQL, a lot of what you'd be learning on the query writing section would apply to that database product as well. The next group of people is developers that are going to be using SQL Server. Basically, every application that you create these days is nothing but a front end for a database. And so developers need to be able to query and work with data inside of a database. This can also be very helpful for developers that are going to be using SQL as a stepping stone, as a first step into deeper knowledge of SQL. In a lot of shops, one of the things that you'll notice is that the developers are also responsible for creating and potentially even maintaining the database, the latter being a bit more rare, but the former definitely being very common. So developers these days do need a pretty solid understanding of SQL Server, and this could serve as those first steps into getting into SQL Server. Last but not least, is anybody looking to become a database administrator. That if you're going to be a database administrator, your job is to support your users as they go off and find the data that they need. Well, in order to best support our users, we need to figure out how it is that they're going to be grabbing their data, and we need a starting point. This is that perfect starting point. This is going to be that perfect spot where we can take a look at how to query and work with our data, and a little bit of basics on how to work with objects as well.